When I was in elementary school, I was not the brightest crayon in the bunch, or how like my parents like to say, I'm just a little dense, or a little behind. But really I just hated school and gave no rat's ass about any of my assignments. I was the type of student whose favorite period was recess and lunchtime, and the occasional PE class when there wasn't too much running or physical activity. And most of the time when I got homework assignments, I would think of it as voluntary rather than mandatory. Ugh, this sucks. School is for suckers. Looking back at my elementary school education though, I have no regrets. We don't use most of the things we learned anyways, except cursive. I will admit that I have bomb handwriting because of cursive. I was one of those students who would shove their assignment in their backpack and forget about it. I'll save this one for a rainy day. And then, when it was due, I would pull out a crumpled piece of paper. That's where it went. Seriously thought my dog ate that one. Cross my heart, hope to die. My parents were too busy working, so they rarely checked up on my homework. Oh yeah, sweet freedom. So instead of doing homework, I preferred to spend my evenings doing other things. And aside from the sports parents force you into for character building and other skills, I was particularly into the TV show Dragon Ball Z at the time, and Hamtaro. If you know, you know. Anyways, TV was much more interesting than any math problem, and I have a much better memory of all those TV shows than what I learned in elementary school. Alas, my elementary school homework was dead to me, and my parents didn't know until it came around that dreadful time. Yeah. Report card time! Report cards were the bane of my existence. They were my number one nemesis, a curse on all poor and helpless elementary students. Like, don't try and rank me on standardized testing. I'm more than a number score. I'm a wannabe YouTuber. Sometimes my parents were actually quite busy doing their thing, so I was able to hide my report card and never give it to them. Good riddance. I'm not saying my parents were bad parents, they just had a lot on their plate. But all good things must come to an end, and the unfathomable happened. My mom reached into my bag and found my crumbled report card and began her scrutiny. By the way, my mom is Asian, so you know where this is going. I had managed to pull up straight B's and C's that semester, not a single A, not even in art. Because anime is not a respected medium? Yeah, I said it. I don't remember exactly what happened after my parents discovered my report card, but it definitely wasn't great, and definitely remember getting the disappointed talk. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. After traumatizing my mom, she took matters into her own hand and tried tutoring me herself, but that did not go well. That's not how the teacher did it! Usually these sessions would end in a very unsatisfactory manner, so my dad, seeing the madness, decided it would be best for me to enroll in an after-school tutoring program called Kumon. Kumon was a learning center for children specialized in after-school math and reading programs. My parents did not tell me directly they would enroll me in this prison reform, but rather they kidnapped me after school and drove me to the Kumon headquarters. We walked around inside and I saw the helpless, depressed children in their cubicles doing problem after problem. There was no hope. I was shook. Do people still say that? My parents threatened me. Lauren, Winifred, Reed, if you do not fix your grades this semester, you will have to enroll in Kumon next semester. You have one semester to fix yourself or wreck yourself. So I dearly took my parents' words to heart and I began 5th grade, but for some reason, it didn't do anything. And I continued my patterns like a true addict. Homework is for chumps. Because I wasn't so interested in learning, I was really bored during class. There's a limit on how many times you can go to the bathroom. But around this time, my creative self began to sprout. And during a boring lesson one day, I decided to make what all children probably have made during their education. I hope. A cootie catcher. Yeah, that's right. And if you don't know what a cootie catcher is, according to Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet, a cootie catcher is a paper fortune teller used in children's games. Parts of the fortune teller are labeled with colors or numbers that serves as options for players to choose from. And on the inside of the 8 flaps, each conceal a message. But my cootie catcher wasn't just an old plain Jane cootie catcher. I made it so it had double the amount of flaps, so it was probably like a next level extreme cootie catcher 3.0. I honestly forget how I pimped my cootie catcher, so don't ask. And I decided that my cootie catcher would not tell your fortune, but instead, drum roll please, it would tell you what vegetable you are. I know it's genius, but please hold the praise. Now listen here, you're not a Gemini, you're a cauliflower. So during recess, I showed my friends my creation, and they loved it. I'm not sure why my vegetable cootie catcher was such a hit, but it made me one of the most popular students on the playground. Everyone was lining up to take my test. So, what vegetable are you? I'm an eggplant. Hey, I'm a tomato! Hey, that's not a vegetable, you deceptive scam of a fruit. My 5th grade homeroom teacher saw what I was doing during class later and asked me to test her. To this point, I generally avoided most contact with teachers because I saw them as Satan in disguise, but I decided to give this one a chance. My 5th grade homeroom teacher took the test and of course got green beans. Very fitting if you ask me. She was delighted and encouraged everyone to take the test and learn from such a superb, creative, amazing, out of this world student. After this event, my 5th grade homeroom teacher became my favorite teacher to this day, and in a couple days, all the 5th graders in my school were copying me and they were making their own cootie catcher tests. I really should have copyrighted my idea. Something strange and magical happened after the cootie catcher event. Somehow, my grades went up, and I actually started doing my homework. School became much more enjoyable, and I never had to enroll in Kumon. And it all boils down to the encouragement of one teacher, my 5th grade homeroom teacher. Because my homeroom teacher actually believed in me and didn't ignore me like my previous teachers did, I finally succeeded in school for the first time. A good teacher really does make a world of a difference. So thank you, Mrs. Webster. And we all lived happily ever after. Thanks for watching!